If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6 and 9, then you would have a key to the universe. Nikola Tesla excerpt from the New York World Telegram, July 11, 1935. Nikola Tesla revealed that an earthquake which drew police and ambulances to the region of his laboratory at 48 E. Houston Street, New York, in 1898, was the result of a little machine he was experimenting with at the time, which you could put in your overcoat pocket. The bewildered newspapermen pounced upon this as at least one thing they could understand, and Nikola Tesla, the father of modern electricity, told what had happened as follows. Tesla stated, "I was experimenting with vibrations. I had one of my machines going and I wanted to see if I could get it in tune with the vibration of the building. I put it up notch after notch. There was a peculiar cracking sound. I asked my assistants where did the sound come from. They did not know. I put the machine up a few more notches. There was a louder cracking sound. I knew I was approaching the vibration of the steel building. I pushed the machine a little higher. Suddenly all the heavy machinery in the place was flying around. I grabbed a hammer and broke the machine. The building would have been about our ears in another few minutes." Outside in the street there was pandemonium. The police and ambulances arrived. I told my assistants to say nothing. We told the police it must have been an earthquake. That's all they ever knew about it. Some shrewd reporter asked Drive Tesla at this point what he would need to destroy the Empire State Building, and the doctor replied, "Vibration will do anything. It would only be necessary to step up the vibrations of the machine to fit the natural vibration of the building, and the building would come crashing down. That's why soldiers break step crossing a bridge." On the occasion of his annual birthday celebration interview by the press on July 10, 1935, in his suite at the Hotel New Yorker, Tesla announced a method of transmitting mechanical energy accurately with minimal loss over any terrestrial distance, including a related new means of communication and a method, he claimed, which would facilitate the unerring location of underground mineral deposits. At that time he recalled the earth-trembling quake that brought police and ambulances rushing to the scene of his Houston Street laboratory while an experiment was in progress with one of his mechanical oscillators. From My Inventions, the autobiography of Nikola Tesla, Chapter 5, The Influences That Shape Our Destiny. As I review the events of my past life, I realize how subtle are the influences that shape our destinies. An incident of my youth may serve to illustrate. One winter's day I managed to climb a steep mountain, in company with other boys. The snow was quite deep and a warm southerly wind made it just suitable for our purpose. We amused ourselves by throwing balls which would roll down a certain distance, gathering more or less snow, and we tried to outdo one another in this sport. Suddenly a ball was seen to go beyond the limit, swelling to enormous proportions until it became as big as a house and plunged thundering into the valley below with a force that made the ground tremble. I looked on spellbound, incapable of understanding what had happened. For weeks afterward the picture of the avalanche was before my eyes, and I wondered how anything so small could grow to such an immense size. Ever since that time the magnification of feeble actions fascinated me, and when, years later, I took up the experimental study of mechanical and electrical resonance, I was keenly interested from the very start. Nikola Tesla waited 37 years to brag of the earthquake incident in 1898, but the very next year in 1899 he dropped everything and went out west to Colorado Springs. In a transatlantic race to broadcast and receive radio signal on the world stage, he dropped everything the next year. After making earthquakes and went west, he wanted to send power, not signal, and send power he did. This is why Marconi was able to pilfer him of radio in the first place, and why the U.S. Supreme Court reversed Marconi patents in 1943 right after Tesla died with, you guessed it, U.S. Supreme Court Decision 369. What are the chances it would be Decision 369? At least 1 in 369. Right. Nikola Tesla caused the September 1899 Cape Yakartaga and Yakutat Bay earthquakes in Alaska from Colorado Springs. On September 3, 1899, 3, 9 September 6, 1899, 6, 9 September 9, 1899, 9. If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, the 6 and the 9, then you would have a key to the universe. Nikola Tesla, after causing 3 earthquakes. Source: https www.flickr.com. Photos: Googleplex 4403159515. Perhaps selecting 3, 6, 9 for the dates was just to pay respect to the 3, 6, 9 rule. Please read below. PS1 LONGLOST Nikola Tesla drawings reveal genius map for multiplication. A recently discovered set of original Nikola Tesla drawings reveal a map to multiplication that contains all numbers in a simple-to-use system. The drawings were discovered at an antique shop in central Phoenix, Arizona by local artist, Abe Zucker. They are believed to have been created during the last years of Tesla's free energy lab, Wardenclyffe. The manuscript is thought to contain many solutions to unanswered questions about mathematics. The sketches were hidden in a small trunk with numerous other drawings and manuscripts ranging from handheld technological devices to free energy systems, many with notes scrawled all over them. Some of the pieces are already familiar to the public, but a few others are not. Most notably is the map to multiplication of the math spiral. Zucker made a few copies and showed the drawings around to different thinkers, dreamers, and mathematicians. A few days later, a local high school mathematics instructor, Joey Grether, had been working on deciphering the system and had a few breakthroughs. Grether suggests that the spiral not only explores multiplication as an interwoven web, but that it offers a comprehensive visual understanding of how all numbers are self-organized into 12 positions of composability. This device allows us to see numbers as patterns, the formation of prime numbers, twin primes, highly composite numbers, multiplication and division, as well as few other systems, I imagine, that are yet to be discovered. The diagram itself is very intuitive, allowing students to see how numbers all work together based on a spiral with 12 positions. 12, or 12x multiples of 12 is the most highly composite system, which is why we have 12 months in a year, 12 inches in a foot, 24 hours in a day, etc. 12 can be divided by 2, 3, 4, and 6. So can all multiples of 12. For every 12 numbers there is a chance of 4 numbers being prime. They happen to fall in positions, think clock positions 5, 7, 11, and 1. Tesla is known for the quote, "If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6 and 9, then you would have the key to the universe." It turns out that when the device is examined, the digital roots of the numbers in positions 3, 6, 9, and 12 constantly repeat the same sequence 3, 6, 9. Is this what Tesla was referring to, the self-organization of numbers and their digital roots? It's hard to say, but Grether seems to think so. This breakthrough is phenomenal. If we could get students all over the globe to use this technique, to play with it, and help figure out how to use it, we could overcome our cultural aversion to mathematics. Instead of memorizing the multiplication table, we could learn the positions of numbers and have a better understanding of how they work. Juan Zapata, one of Mr. G's students, believes so as well. I used to say I'm bad at math because that's what everyone says, but now, I'm like, dude, this is too easy. There's one other fact about the Tesla spiral that make it interesting. The diagram is dated 12/12/12/1912. Grether and his students want to turn December the 12th into a national holiday. So grab a 12-pack, get a dozen donuts, and celebrate the power of 12x via cbsnews.com.co. Thanks to disclose for this article. PS2 The 10 emanations of God, with the 0 being regarded as heaven and the all and nothing. This now leaves us 9 numbers within our Based-on system: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. These 9 gods were celebrated by the Greeks and Egyptians in the Ennead. The Ennead was 9 gods that represented the archetypal principles that regulated and ruled the cosmos through the laws of number. This company of 9 has shown its face many times throughout the world. In Norse mythology, the god Odin hung on the Gradzal tree for 9 days. Benjamin Franklin was Grand Master of the charitable Nine Sisters Lodge. In the European Middle Ages we see the 9 worthies, semi-legendary figures who personified the ideas of chivalry. We have all heard of Cloud 9, being dressed to the nines, the 9 lives of a feline, and a stitch in time saves 9. The Christians mythologize the power of these 9 numbers in the Christian angelic hierarchy, with those angels being the 9 seraphim, 8 cherubim, 7 thrones, 6 dominions, 5 virtues, 4 powers, 3 principalities, 2 archangels and 1 angels. Even the ancient Mayan venerated the principles of 9. One of the most well-known Mayan pyramids is the pyramid at Chichen Itza. Chichen Itza is an inner-level pyramid with a celestial observatory at the top. For a few moments on the solstices and equinoxes, the light and shadows on this pyramid forms a snake that travels down the side of the pyramid to the base, where the head of this great snake, called Quetzalcoatl's Kukulkan, is carved into stone. The Hebrew letter Tev, transcribed as At, meant serpent, or the secret intelligence of all spiritual activities, and was designated by the number 9. The number 9 shows up quite often in the metrology of our universal architecture as well. The diameters of the Moon, the Sun, and the Earth using decimal parity are all reduced down to this number of spirit. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. These 10 principles united represent completion, the perfection of all being and the harmony that exists within the demiurgic word of the Creator, once again, apparent on the two hands that lay right before you. These 10 principles are the living thoughts of a great creator being, a great mystery, a grand architect who is within all things and without which all things would cease to exist. The ancient Vedic peoples, responsible for the oldest of Hindu scriptures, reiterated the supremacy of this based-on system by placing 9 numbers around a circle E0 and performing their math in this way. By placing 9 at the top and moving clockwise around the circle, these 9 digits encase the holy 0 with a 0 performing its magic as the placeholder for the rest of the digits. We will see the use of this mathematical template again later on in the text. Read the source article greater than PS3 Vortex-based mathematics numerically conceptualizing reality. The mathematical fingerprint of God is the number 9. There is more to numbers than the mere quantities we assign them. Numbers are alive. They structure our waking reality. All the great mystics and philosophers throughout the ages understood this numeric universe. It won't be long until we are able to manufacture energy and reshape our world the way nature intended, through implosion rather than explosion. The principles of vortex math and the underlying ideologies of this forgotten science are resurfacing. This lost numerical art is a portal to understanding the nature of reality, and the psychological implications gained from such introspection are paramount to the evolution of the world soul. Dark matter, the vibratory essence of all that exists, is no longer on its elusive hide-and-seek trip. It has been found. With the introduction of vortex-based mathematics, you will be able to see how energy is expressing itself mathematically. This math has no anomalies and shows the dimensional shape and function of the universe as being a toroid, a donut-shaped black hole. This is the template for the universe, and it is all within our base 10 decimal system. You have entered a place where numbers are real and alive, not merely symbols for other things. You will discover that the relationships between numbers are not random or man-made, but that numbers are actually elementary particles of which everything is composed. This lost knowledge was well known to our ancients and is now being uncovered for us today. Gradually you will come to see numbers in a simple yet profoundly perfect three-dimensional matrix grid pattern that forms the shape of a torus. The number grid reveals the calibration and timing for an engine that can take us throughout the universe and solve mankind's energy needs. Interested? Delve in. Want to find the answers to the unknown? Want to see a man-made black hole using a new math that shows that numbers are not man-made symbols, but are actually real? You will see and understand the answers to these questions. Learn about a particle that does not bend, but causes everything in the universe to curve around it. The three toroidal number patterns that are the basis to all mathematics, the pattern of numbers traversing the toroidal surface in, out, and around. The universe is an ecological system of renewal. Your body being made out of countless stars of the past. Proof of an omniscient supreme being. Making a coil that produces unlimited free energy. A number grid that shows the underpinning geometry of the universe. How everything is a torus. Making a propulsion source that can take you anywhere in the universe. Artificial intelligence based on a binary triplet. The etheric template in DNA that guides evolution. The repeating number pattern that solves pi and demonstrates it to be a whole number. A mathematics in which numbers do not move, but the functions move instead. How numbers form a 3D solid geometric object. The secret of a gyroscope, why it vertically lifts itself upright. Wormholes, nested vertices, portals, and doorways. Why dimensions are a result of how things move through space. The preferred frame of reference to the universe is based upon the fixed constant number 9. Number crunching and encryption compression done through cross-addition. The labyrinth maze of the doubling circuits where they invert in the center. World boundary conditions and inversion seams of nested vortices. The bilateral symmetry of the decimal system resulting in polar number pairs having parity by being perfect mirrors of one another. The zero is always in the center in the form of the vortex hole. Multiplication series are unbroken rings from cross-sections of the torus. A number cannot be created or destroyed, and zero does not exist on a number line or in any multiplication series. The number 9 is the node and represents spirit. The numbers 3 and 6 represent the yin and yang in the form of magnetism, and the number 9 is the S-curve. The base 10 numerical counting system is triangulated. Infinity has an epicenter. The powers of 10 occur by halving. The torus skin models harmonic cascadence. Our based and decimal system is not man-made, rather it is created by this flow of energy. Amazingly, after 20 years of working with this symbol and collaborating with engineers and scientists, Marco discovered that the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 was a doubling circuit for a very efficient electrical coil. There was still one more very important number pattern to be realized. On the mathematical fingerprint of God, notice how the 3, 9, and 6 is in red and does not connect at the base. That is because it is a vector. The 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 is the third dimension, while the oscillation between the 3 and 6 demonstrates the fourth dimension, which is the higher dimensional magnetic field of an electrical coil. The 3, 9, and 6 always occur together with a 9 as the control. In fact, the yin-yang is not a duality but rather a trinary. This is because the 3 and 6 represent each side of the yin-yang and the 9 is the S-curve between them. Everything is based on thirds. We think that the universe is based on dualities because we see the effects, not the cause. Sources: links. PS4 physicists prove surprising rule of threes. In 1970, Vitaly Efimov was manipulating the equations of quantum mechanics in an attempt to calculate the behavior of sets of three particles, such as the protons and neutrons that populate atomic nuclei, when he discovered a law that pertained not only to nuclear ingredients but also, under the right conditions, to any trio of particles in nature. While most forces act between pairs, such as the north and south poles of a magnet or a planet and its sun, Efimov identified an effect that requires three components to spring into action. Together, the components form a state of matter similar to Borromean rings, an ancient symbol of three interconnected circles in which no two are directly linked. The so-called Efimov trimer could consist of a trio of protons, a triatomic molecule, or any other set of three particles, as long as their properties were tuned to the right values. And in a surprising flourish, this hypothetical state of matter exhibited an unheard-of feature: the ability to range in size from practically infinitesimal to infinite. Efimov had shown that when three particles come together, a special confluence of their forces creates the Borromean rings effect. Though one is not enough, the effects of two particles can conspire to bind a third. The nesting doll feature, called discrete scale invariance, arose from a symmetry in the equation describing the forces between three particles. If the particles satisfied the equation when spaced a certain distance apart, then the same particles spaced 22.7 times farther apart were also a solution. This number, called a scaling factor, emerged from the mathematics as inexplicably as pi, the ratio between a circle's circumference and diameter. It's like layers of an onion, Hulett said. You see molecules at one layer. Peel the layer away, and you see that there's a molecule there 22.7 times smaller. Every time you peel away a layer, you find another molecule. Efimov trimers are states of matter that theoretically come in an infinite range of sizes. Experimentalists recently observed consecutive trimers, verifying the strange theory. Read the entire article at the source: https://www.quantummagazine.org. 20140527 Physicists prove a surprising rule of threes. PS5 The Borromean rings. In mathematics, the Borromean rings consist of three topological circles which are linked to form a Brownian link, i.e., removing any ring results in two unlinked rings. In other words, no two of the three rings are linked with each other as a Hopf link, but nonetheless all three are linked. The mystery of the Christian Trinity is expressed in the Athanasian Creed: we worship one God in Trinity, and Trinity in unity, neither confounding the persons, nor dividing the substance. Trying to depict this triune nature without leaving oneself open to attacks of polytheism was problematic, and geometrical symbols became popular. The equilateral triangle, consisting of three equal parts, equally joined, was used as an early symbol of the Trinity. It was often inscribed in a circle, a symbol used to stand for God for many centuries. For the Greeks, the circle symbolized perfection. Its never-ending form also encapsulates the idea of eternity. Today, the Borromean rings are commonly used as a symbol of the Trinity. The earliest source for this that we are aware of was a 13th-century manuscript in the municipal library at Chartres. It contained 4 diagrams, one of which is shown above. In the center, inside all the circles, is the word "unitas." The three syllables of "trinitas" are distributed in the outer sectors. Unfortunately, the manuscript was destroyed in a fire in 1944. The copy shown here was reproduced in a manual of Christian iconography Didron, along with descriptions of the other three. The labels on these other figures are shown below. They are: God is life surrounded by Father, Son and Holy Spirit. God is surrounded by Word, Light and Life. The phrases Trinitas Unitate 3 in 1 and Unitas Trinitate 1 in 3 distributed over the diagram. https://www.liverpool.ac.uk/SPMR02 rings